We don't have a lot of archive around people, artists specifically speaking about their music, speaking about their journeys. And in hindsight, when they're gone, we all scrambling, and then you find us as reporters or some reporters coming through and speaking on your behalf. And I don't think that's right. I think it's there. There has to be some way where we get to know you, we get to have conversations and engage in honestness and honesty around you, because you're like a gift. You know, artists are a gift, and and also you're like a way of collecting memory, how we were feeling at a time and how we were engaging with life at a time. And I don't think that you should just perish like that without your stories being kept and being recorded. So that's the purpose of why I'm doing this.
No, I respect you and your principles. I appreciate that.
Okay, so you are one of the most captivating voices in South African music. Your sound is very specific, it's unmistakable, and it is very deep and emotive. And we want to know behind that voice, where does that resilience, that curiosity, and that artist comes from? And Ami, welcome. And I hope that we can just get a moment to just explore your journey. Can you just start by telling us, Uti, music, of all things that you could be doing in your life, you decided without seeing me, I'm going to go into music and this is what I'm going to be doing.
Well, for me, it was the one thing that I was good at. Out of everything, I was the most excellent, and I could see that every time I pushed myself, because I wasn't always as good as I am, actually. It was just this belief that I had inside of me. Anytime I would be watching people, I just had this desire and this belief that there's so much more into what I can do. And so my interest also was in church. Like growing up in church, I used to sing there because my father was a pastor. We used to have an actual house church where I lived. So music was always around, but I discovered I could sing, and then I could also see the people's feedback that really, really also intrigued me. And it then became a thing of, you know what, before I say I'm no longer here, let me just do my best to look for a bigger audience. And if that doesn't work out, at least I can say that I tried. So that's where it all began, and like the push on doing it in a bigger scale, that's how it happened. Mm.
And coming from, you'll tell us where you come from specifically in Port Elizabeth, but can you also tell us about like how growing up in a church household and growing up in PE, how do those memories and how do those relationships play into your music and you as a person being able to even share yourself with us?
It plays a big role because just the me learning how the importance of delivering your voice. Also, through the years, I learned the power of simplifying how you project yourself. That all comes from church because Zion has, well, the Zion I grew up from, up to today, I've never seen a church that sang so well as mine, and I'm not even, yeah, well, and call me, like for real, nothing compares. So I was starstruck at church. So I was exposed to like people with unique voices, kwaseqaleni. So that always is the foundation of how I sing, and yeah, I hope I answered your question.
No, no,
Did
no.
I?
Don't worry about it. And coming from
Yeah.
yoga, am I saying it right?
As yoga. Mm.
Yes. Can you just speak about growing up there? How was it? And I assume you still go back there because family is still back there. Um,
So, so one family is not really there anymore. So I
okay.
don't necessarily go back there, but I still go back to PE.
Hmm.
Uh, Ilanduka. growing up there, it was so much fun because I had the best childhood. Like I got a chance of being umdana. I remember before the age of 16, before my transition into like being a complete introvert, I used to have like 10 friends. We used to go emadameni and swim and play. So I was so blessed, and I used to take like 30 minutes walks with my friends. So I lived a full life, and um, in as much as now I don't live such a full life as that, I'm so grateful for that phase of my life. So my time there was nice, man. I that's where I got my confidence. That's why now I'm able to fight for myself. I'm very confident. You can't tell me anything because I feel like I've been exposed to all kinds of life. It also has given me respect to respect everyone because of my background, because I know what a person is, you know. So it's such an honor to come from that background. I won't lie.
You know, it's interesting saying that you lived a full life. You know, a lot of the time, when umaskamuke emakhaya or ezilalini, people always conflate the idea of ukuba sezilalini or emakhaya with poverty. And for me, it's never the same thing. Like, mesikhula sisemakhaya asihlupheki.
Mm.
Sinomhlaba, kunemfuyo, kuney'tshalo, and we grow. And as you mentioned one thing, like you had a full childhood, you know, and it's an interesting thing that you till even now you're saying you had a full life, even though mind you said drop in, you've got internet access, you've got all the electricity.
All the Wi-Fi unlimited, but yeah, but there's limitations now. It's not the same. It was completely different. It was completely different. Everything was different, man, from the food, from the community, from just everything. But even this new life, it also has its perks that I also appreciate. It's something that I'm accepting. I'm not, yeah, about dismissing this new life. It's I'm just grateful for all of it and everything that comes with each part of how things have changed throughout the years.
Yeah, and you know, within your music, you've got your album Imali, but aside from that, you've also had a myriad of collaborations across genres. How do you approach collaboration, and why is it important that you collaborate, Futi, across genres? Because I can't necessarily say where I can place you genre-wise. Firstly, actually start there. Where do you place yourself genre-wise, but also how do you approach collaborations across genres?
So genre-wise, when it comes to Faku and my own work, I would say modern Afro-Soul is where I flourish at most. That's what I do. But I love collaborating because it's something I'm also good at. So it's like a flex of some kind. Like I know I can do this, you know? I can pass by Denzel so much. So I love it. And it gives me a chance to grow because hey, the spaces of, for instance, my piano, like the way they work, it's completely different from like how I facilitate my space. Because me, the people that need to be there, they are there. I'm not gonna have a bunch of people. Hey, I wish I could go in and explain to you like the sessions that I've had. But
No, go
what I
ahead. It's
no,
one of
bruh,
the
like
beautiful things. It's
chonga, chonga. You will go to studio and there's women wearing absolutely nothing, swimming at 4 a.m. And I'm like, "Bapakazi minyango," and I'm like, okay, it's a different scene. Like I'd never allow that because I'm very strict. Like, what are you here for? This is and but not in a strict sense where now you're not able to have fun because I'm not a deep person. Like I don't believe in being so restrictive and being deep, but it's important to follow through and know why you're here and focus on the important things. And also, I don't like having so many people because it feels like I'm having a premature celebration. Like I want to make sure I kill my music and then include other people so that I don't celebrate in advance because I want to pay respect to the process because it's not easy.
Mm,
So basically, but collaborating it gives me less control in that sense. So it allows me to just be more open-minded and be as controlling as I would be in my session. So it has grown me in that sense. Um, yeah, so and some of my big songs have come out of that distraction because then instead of me focusing on what's happening, I focus within and what I'm here for, and I still deliver. So I feel, yeah, when you allow things to be where two good things happen. So
mm,
I love collaborating just based on how it gives me so many different experiences in as much as it's ending as funny, but I can still say that if I can finish a song and there while some people, because sometimes one time I was in studio, I had this lady who's famous hate on me while I'm in studio, and I'm like, girl, I'm trying to write my verse. But then, but I calmed down because she was speaking to someone else, but she spoke that so I can hear. But I was like, it can only mean that you are intimidated and it's okay.
mm.
Let me push. And that gives me the right fuel in as much as that might sound a bit yabo, psychotic, but nah, those things give me fuel when you try and mess up something so simple as a session. I'm like, "Kanye ngizokubonisa for Londo." So all these things, bad and good, they play a good role. And for me, collaborating allows me to just accept things for what they are at the time and still push through.
And it's interesting because it also gives you different vantages or perspectives of how people live, how people exist. And even that can somehow, in a way, be infused in the music that comes out. And Yazi, there's something that you're doing, and I might be wrong. Like, I might be wrong. Like, I tried finding out, but maybe I'm wrong. Imali is your only album. So I'm not wrong. Please tell me I'm not wrong.
I know.
So that-
You are correct. You are correct on that. Mm.
Why? Why are you so stingy? Why are you
Eish,
doing this to us?
tshwere ke tlala. Tshwere ke tlala. What's happening? Oh no, the album is coming, man. The album is coming. I can't wait for like my second album. I did a camp recently, and I'm gonna make another one. Um, it's just life is lifing, and I don't like to kilana with life. Me, I let life be. So the album is coming though, the second album, and it's really gonna be worth it. And I'm not, uncall me. I'm speaking facts when I say this because it's just gonna be so stunning. Like it's gonna be the best album of my life at this point.
But why so long?
Because life is doing its thing.
Yeah, life is a word, but you're not saying much.
Yeah, like yo, the man selling it 5 years ago because it's been 5 years. Evening and
Maybe 2 years, maybe 2 years out of the five.
hey, Zotini, life, life, man, life. Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm working on my album though. I'm working on my album. Also, wait, who, you know what, with the wait also, a lot of people were able to discover the old work too and appreciate my debut album. So, mabayo mamela man album yami yokuqala. Mhlawumbe bazo understand about where this all comes from. Like, because a lot of people also don't know about my first album. They know the popular features. So
hmm.
bakhe babuyele emva bayo-appreciate her. Yeah.
And funny enough, like that album is clear and it's emotional and it has a sonic maturity that is not for a debut album, and it was, And how was creating that album different to how you're creating this album that's coming? Because Imali is cohesive, it's timeless, and it touches on different genres, even though it grazes Gangnani. There's a bit of jazz, there's a bit of soul, like and it just all encompassing, even the way the stories that you are telling and you're speaking about, even when we listen to it from head to toe and from toe to head. It is just it's like that's why cabang or ihlaziya. And then you were like funny enough, yeah. The thought that comes to mind now is when you were creating it, it was as if you were saying Amen. Like you had meditated on it and then it just came through. So it's like, what is the approach now compared to then, and like what was that all about, that album?
The first one.
Yes.
Okay. So it was I was one excited to have an album. Really grateful for everyone that was involved in the making of that album. So I think that feeling of excitement, that innocence also of not knowing what the industry is like, that's a very beautiful space to be in, and it pushes you to just create from that space. So yeah, man. And the one thing I still carry on though throughout since the beginning, and I work on it when I feel like I'm not as open as I used to be. I one thing I always take is the power of being vulnerable and not being too cool to express feelings such as loneliness, disappointments, or just me being maybe, let's say, I ain't shit. Maybe I'm not afraid to express that. So those are the things that I still carry. So I wouldn't say there'll be a lot of difference in terms of that, but with growth and my ability to just understand myself better now, that's what's going to be different. And also just more access to, better producers. Okay, let me not say better because that sounds bad. But yeah, yo, that sounds bad. But access to more
Mm,
producers. Because, I still work with the producers that I worked with on my first album.
that's beautiful.
So yeah, so I still work with them. It's just that now everyone has just became better, basically. That's the beauty about Ukula. You just, you grow. It's really nice to grow.
Mm. And earlier actually you were mentioning something that before the age of 16, before you became an introvert. What is it that happened that turned you into an introvert? Was there a moment in time, or was it the music industry? Was it something that happened at home? Like, what were those things that literally? Because you're speaking about 30-minute walks with your friends, but then you were very specific about then before you turned into an introvert. What is that thing that actually just did that?
I don't know. I think maybe that was the phase that I needed to have so that I know what it's like to have 15 friends, when I'm older. I don't lack that, understanding. So for me, it just out of the blue, one time I just had zero interest in having so many people. I couldn't bear it. And a lot of people didn't understand because sana yayingathi ndiphakamile ndiqonda, hey guys, andiphakamanga bona nje but andinamdla. All I want to do is just be in my space. Yeah, so that was just a transition that happened, spontaneously. And that's what I do basically throughout my life. I have these spontaneous transitions that I don't interfere with because I know that it's where I should be probably.
In that moment.
So that's why I don't like to pinpoint and define things because I know that things are constantly changing. So yeah, man. Not that I'm like quiet or anything. I'm really not. I'm really ratchet, like real. But you will not find me anywhere, like, because I don't have the desire to even get out of this house. So it sucks, but I have to because of life, like even now I'm gonna go to the bank. That's not exciting. But yeah, so yeah, man, it's just a flow of life. It's really nothing personal that happened.
Okay. And then with having such a powerful voice and such a presence in your music, how do you protect your creativity in an industry that can demand and be so fast paced? How do you protect yourself and how do you protect your creativity and ubuena within this whole industry?
It's just knowing yourself is very important, and trusting your instincts is also very key. So, yeah, so that whatever happens, happens, but as long as you know yourself, it shouldn't be a problem.
Mm.
So the industry shouldn't be a problem. Let the industry be what it is. The industry is beautiful, so and it caters to everyone.
And what are the lessons that from Imali in between the collaborations and today that you've learned and you like, as you've seen, these are going to form part and parcel of my foundation and how I move forward?
What was
What
that?
are the
Sorry,
lessons
the
that you've
lessons.
learned from Imali to the collaborations that you've had to today that you're like, as you've seen, these are going to form part of my foundation?
I will say the importance of having a very good relationship with your producers. It's very key. And by that, you're a very good relationship. Oh, don't interfere a lot of things. Don't do anything out of like, okay, don't do anything that might affect, the work. Respect
Mhm.
each other is very key. That bond is what makes the music what it is. And that I've taken throughout, because before I even did this on a professional level, I used to go to studio every day for like 8 years before I even did music professionally. So I always had a skill in terms of how I talk to producers, the importance of that relationship. So it's something that I've always known, that your relationship with the people that you work with is very key. It helps bring life to whatever you're producing in studio, and the energy never lies. So just always cater to that, because it's very important.
And also like you know that there's these big songs that you've been part of in collaboration, and then you also still need to walk out into the world with knowing that there are some people that are going to recognize you and see you and want to engage with you. How have you found it navigating that separation, the ability to separate Faku on stage and Amanda walking down the streets, going to the mall, to the bank, and just being a normal human being? How do you navigate those things? Or do you, yeah, how have you navigated those things?
Well, you know what, with me, I really pretty much act normal, and I feel like people receive me that way as well. So, for instance, in terms of Indabaye pictures and everything, if I'm talking to someone respectively, nditi, yo, bra, stressing now, so today, already immediately, and with South Africans, we sing about banobunta abantu balapha. So once you are yourself and you communicate in a normal way, the people give you that reception. So I don't really find it difficult, because I literally go to the mall alone and I put my headsets on, but I do strategize. I would never go to a Alex Mall or Lile ba ay, bazofota. Think you need to know the right mall. Iya kula mall abantu baphakamile bayazithanda, yabo, so that so you need to also use your brain, and go to spaces where okay, so if in the let's say if I'm in PE, and especially the Eastern Cape, like I can never say no there, because those are even if I say no, maybe I substitute a picture with a hug. So I know how to communicate with people. So I'm just myself the whole time, and people give me the same reception. So I never find anything difficult with, being myself and being anywhere, because if I don't want to be around people, I know exactly where to go. Yeah.
And with your journey coming from like a small town to global stages, what continues to inspire Uami Faku? What is that keeps that fire burning? I'm gonna make more music. I'm gonna go into studio and collaborate with this person. I'm gonna try and experience that. What keeps that going inside of you?
What keeps me going? That's a very good question, because I always say it's when I was a child without a phone and I had utilili on a radio, I I used to listen to like I would just scroll past radio station and I would discover music just like that and I'd obsess over it. So I work for that child who's got no internet access. So my music will be strong enough to reach that child, and to wake something up out of them. So it's that keeps me going because then I know that if I can do something and then umntana ohlala somewhere without a phone, but they discover the music. That's why the music is able to reach, so many miles away from where I am, because that's who I cater to. I cater to that person because that's the person that needs the most inspiration, motivation, the child without a lot of things that could get them out of that situation. Hence, for me, uba honest in my songs. For instance, saying ba namali ngihluphekile, dala ngithandaza, those are real feelings. And again, being honest in the music, that will definitely touch some child who's not who's just in their feelings.
Mm.
And I cater to people who listen to their music alone like I do. I love music that have meaning because most of the time I'm alone. So it gives me so many good feelings. So I those are the things that I consider when I
Okay.
make.
And with all the stages that you've performed in, what are the two main stages? Like as a team, I'd like to perform in that festival. I'd like to perform in that space. Which are the two over anywhere in the world, and why?
I wonder. Oh, maybe Coachella. Coachella. Coachella would be a good place to be in because I don't think they've ever really had a South African like who does music in their native language perform there with a full band and BVs. I feel like that would be very cool because with my music, I really, because of also traveling, I've seen people mumble my music without understanding. And so that gives me so much like like my interest is how many more people can mumble because really it starts with the melody, with the production.
Mm.
Those are the main things that people focus on before they hear what you say. So to be in a stage as big as Coachella where people mumble my music, me with my entourage there on stage, that would really be cool.
And then I've got just two more questions for you. And these ones are simple to ask, but I don't know how simple they'll be to respond to. The first one, well, the second to last one is, what does success look like to you in South Africa in the kind of music industry that we have? What does success look like to you?
Success for me, it's being able to just do what you love and be comfortable in life. For me, that's that's success. Yeah.
Within the,
Yeah.
within the music industry?
Yeah, within the music industry, being able to do it and also just giving time as to understanding your business and what you have to offer, knowing your weaknesses and strengths, and and just knowing your business and knowing what you're good at and what you cater to, just knowing your market and growing that. I feel like, yeah, so just understanding yourself and the work you do, and yeah, I feel like for me that's success, especially if you can live a comfortable life while at it.
Yeah. And then lastly, the question is, what is the point of your music? What's the purpose of your music? Why does it even exist?
My music is to talk to people and to have them enjoy the music while I speak to them. I just want them to enjoy the music. That's all I ask. If you do, nothing else. Nothing else. When you listen to my things, I want you, every time you listen, it's almost like a movie. You must go back and be like, oh, this is what she was saying actually. Oh, every time you understand the music, it makes better sense. So I just want people to enjoy the music and discover things within the music, basically.
Okay, thank you very much for giving us your time. And again, I just want you to know that the purpose of this platform is for me to be able to say, "Yo, this is Amufaku. This is a bit of her story." And as you progress in life and hit new heights, I'm also able to come back and speak to you about that place that you are. Because at the end of the day, it is extremely important that we document ourselves, that we archive ourselves, and we archive the music that gives us life. Because one day someone will want to reference you for a thesis. One day someone will want to reference you because what they did is they sampled something from you, and there you are. You're able to speak for your music. You're able to express for your music, and that's generally and genuinely the purpose of us doing this. And again, thank you very much for giving us your time nje alone. That is kukodwa lokho kubaluleke kakhulu and sibonga kakhulu.